Look at the twinkle in Len's eye. It's so nice to see. Carrie Ann, we'll start with you.
I didn't know if you'd be able to pull off the Foxtrot because there's a certain level of sophistication, but it was very dreamlike, and it felt like you were dancing in a cloud, and your footwork is great, and I have to say that your musicality is what always amazes me, because I don't expect you to have such great musicality, but you do, and that was a very good, solid performance.
Thank you.
Len.
Well, you know, you're a good dancer, so whatever dance comes on, you're going to do a good routine and a good performance. But from you, I don't want good, I want great. And there was no way that was in any way great. Tom hasn't said you yet.
No, that's right.
Weave,
hold on.
This weavy thing here, bouncing up and down like a beach ball. No sophistication. Posture over.
You cannot say that this was not a sophisticated, elegant performance.
I can.
They were totally in tune. You have a great quality, great musicality, as Carrie Ann said. You know, and you sold it. You sold it. We believed it. You know, I don't see what the badness was.
All right.
Well, I've just told you what the badness was.
Well,
in your mind.
No, listen,
all right, guys, hold on.
Sorry, but, you know, Tom, look, I've had to sit next to this donut.
Oh, God.
Week after week.
Yeah, put a screen across it.
Give us a break,
At least
son.
we now know that the twinkle in Len's eye signifies impending sadism. Apollo and Julianne's scores are next. Then can former favorites Ian and Cheryl finally tango back to the top of the leaderboard? Find out live. Welcome back to Dancing with the Stars. Before the break, Apollo and Julianne stepped out with a foxtrot that caused an upset among the judges, and Bruno was called a donut. Let's see how that translates into scores.
The judges have their scores. Carrie Ann Inabe.
9.
Len Goodman.
8.
Bruno Tognoli.
It's Barney. 9.
That's going to give you guys a 26. Now, this is the first time that I've seen you stand there in front of the judges and actually look a little surprised by what they were saying.
I was a little surprised. I thought, you know, because the Foxtrots were a little more fun, but still very sophisticated. But that's okay. You know, we got the results already, and hopefully the fans are voting. And we still got one more dance left.
All right, that's true. You sure do. And, you know, of course, only one of our remaining couples has been in the bottom 2, which means tomorrow night, at least one couple is going to get a nasty surprise of that red light. Have you ever thought for even a second that it could be you?
Absolutely. You never know, and we just hope that people are voting for us to keep us out of there.
Nobody wants to be in that bottom 2 position, but then again, you can't control it. So you just try to do as best you can during the week, and you see where you end up. You know what I mean?
Of course, of course. Well, again, as a reminder, a 26 out of 30 for their ballroom round. Of course, the scores will definitely change because the Latin round is still coming up. But it's up to you guys at home to still do your part. Get those votes in if you want to keep them around.
Going to start with our head judge, Len Goodman, this time.
Well, you know, I don't want to repeat myself, but I've got to say, it was a very, very good performance. I liked the performance. You always come out and you dance really good. I'm not going to, but again, I can't call that great. It lacks... You lack a bit of posture, your toes sometimes sickle in a little bit, and I can't give it what your dancing deserves.
All right, Bruno.
Well, I completely disagree with Len. This guy is somebody who's never danced before, and when he's out here, you think he's been dancing all his life. He's doing choreography that is so difficult, dancers could not do, and he's selling it with such an ease, and a plump is unbelievable. So disregard that. Rubbish.
I thought you came back really well, because it's always hard to come back after someone gives you a harsh criticism. So to come back in round 2 and do that well, deal with the wardrobe malfunction, deal with all the issues. You were a little off this time, I will say. It wasn't your best, but you are still fantastic. Yeah, it was a little off. He was a little off on his timing.
A banana goes off.
No, he was a little off on his timing. It's okay. It was
This is being difficult for the sake of it. He's trying to making a point that does not exist.
I'm a fan of him.
Ask the audience.
Great. I think he's great.
Okay. Head on back for your scores. Our grand finale is only 3 weeks away. I hope the judges...
Come on. Speaking of good one, get over here, you guys. You do realize, despite what the judges have to say, you're doing a great job out there. And when you combine the two of your ages, I don't know if you've thought about this, but you're actually still younger than half of the stars left in the competition.
18, 23.
Okay. Do you think that youth is going to be an advantage over them?
We hope so. I mean, hopefully our youth and all of our fresh
Energy.
new energy will come
Creativity.
Absolutely. And,
hard
you know, if you...
choreography.
What's that?
Very hard choreography. But it's good. You know,
you did a lot of tricks tonight.
Off and it turns out well, so we're happy. I just want to see more consistency in the judging. That's all.
Straight up.
Lots of fighting words going on tonight.
Slide back? I don't know.
You know, though, if you do continue on, from this point forward, you'll have 2 dances at least to do every single week. Does that even faze you?
Yeah, this is not hard. I mean, we basically have 4 days to learn 2 dances.
This is not hard?
No, this is very hard.
Oh,
I said this is that hard.
Okay.
It's very hard. And, you know, if you travel a day, you basically miss like a half a day or you miss 1 day. So, I mean, if you have 3 days to do 2 dances, we were having a hard time just doing 1 dance.
All right, well, let's find out your
Like I said,
scores.
we're
Let's go
ready.
get your scores, guys.
The judges have their scores. Carrie Ann Inabe,
9.
Len Goodman,
9.
Bruno Tognoli,
The voice of reason, 10.
Bruno Holman out there, you're 28.
Happy with that. Thank you, Bruno.
Very nice. All right, well, 28 out of 30 for their Latin round. Total that with the ballroom, it's going to give them 54 out of 60 for the night. Of course, you can see them dance one more time, but you have to vote, so don't disappoint yourself, or them for that matter, and do what you have to do to keep them in the competition. Tom?
That's an interesting point. If you add Apolo and Julianne's ages together and then double that number, they're still younger than Len.
You know, it's been repeated so many times, but we don't know what's going on, you know, how many people are calling in for you, but I know everybody knows how hard everybody is working, and that's what the show's all about. So no matter who's going home, you know, it's like a family, and this family just keeps getting smaller and smaller.
And pretty much, at this point, we hate to see anybody go, and of course, one of them does have to go home later tonight.
Apolo and Julianne. The judges felt your performances last night were good, but not great. Were they good enough for the viewers? Of course they were. You're so